Stay wired. Post-Tech Update today. We're going to revisit a top-notch call from my weekend show, The Kim Komando Show, that you absolutely need to hear. Here's the inside scoop on yesterday's Supreme Court ruling about social media. You don't want to miss this. I'm Kim Komando for Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Accelerate your AI workload today. Take a free test drive at oracle.com/Kim. The lawsuit was brought by the states of Missouri and Louisiana. It accused the White House and other federal agencies of pressuring social media companies to censor users' free speech on COVID-19's origins, whether face masks actually worked, even Hunter Biden's laptop. And as it turns out, the users were right, social media and the government were wrong. But the court ruled that both Missouri and Louisiana botched the case. They couldn't prove that anyone was injured. After all, their opinions got widespread coverage anyway. Plus, they couldn't show standing. That is, why they had the right to file the lawsuit in the first place. So yes, conservatives were censored, but not injured. And they fought it with a botched lawsuit. Join 500,000 folks who get my free newsletter at getkim.com. Okay, coming up next, a call that you're definitely going to want to hear because I bet you'll learn something new. Chris in Kennewick, Washington. Hi there, Chris.
Kim, how are you today?
Fantastic. What's going on?
Well, I've got, a home and a home office that's kind of separated from the home and a couple different Wi-Fi routers. And, of course, as I walk around from office to home, my phone doesn't know which one to use and usually picks the wrong one. So I'm looking at mesh, like a mesh system, a mesh Wi-Fi system. And I guess I'm just lazy. I don't want to look up and do all the details and figure out what I need.
How big's the house?
I'm talking to Kim Komando.
I'm glad you are, Chris. What size house? Yeah, what size house you have?
It's around 3,000 square feet. It's 2 stories.
Okay.
And my office is about 50 feet away on the far side of a garage from that.
Is it metal, wood, concrete?
It's wood frame.
Wood frame.
It's wood frame.
All right. Because I'm always afraid when we start talking about networking, when somebody says, I built this beautiful steel and glass modern house. I'm like, yeah, I did too. I have crappy Wi-Fi all throughout the whole thing until I did drops. And that's what we needed to do to get it through the beautiful modern steel window house, So, anything else that you're looking for with it?
Yeah, there are a couple things. I want to be able to set up separate networks for my devices and for guests and for my main people that are in the house. And then also I want some control, I guess, by MAC address as far as when a device can have access to the internet.
Yeah, you can do that. And, what's nice now is that with Mesh is that you have an app on your phone. Whereas before you'd have to go to the browser, you're typing 197.28. You're like, and that all it said was admin, or it said admin and password. You're like, oh, this looks scary to me. It's like, where am I? We're not in Kansas anymore. But now with the advent of mesh networking and an app, do you know how Mesh works?
Kind of, yes.
Okay. So for everybody who doesn't know, is that whereas before you'd have Wi-Fi and then you'd have to put in a repeater and then you'd have to put in another repeater, and then you'd sit there with a heat map and go, okay, it's nothing over here, but repeater it. But with a mesh network, anything that's on the network becomes a repeater. So your phone becomes a repeater. Your TV becomes a repeater. But it doesn't mean that you still only need one little box. With your size house, anything over 2,500 feet, you're going to need at least a 3-pack. And so you get you buy a 3-pack. I'm going to send you a link to the one that I want you to look at because you said you don't want to do the research, so I did it for you. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
So TP-Link, they make a really good one, whole home mesh system. It's a 3-pack. Eero is also pretty darn good. And it has the new 6 gigahertz band. So that's really a great option to have as well. It supports up to 200 devices. That's a lot of devices. So, Chris, hang on the line, and we're going to send you a link over to this TP-Link that you can find on Amazon.com. Of course, like everything else, is on Amazon. And again, thanks for your call today, Chris. Big virtual hug for listening. Now, if you want your questions tackled, head to Komando.com and find that link that says Email Kim. Yes, sirree. Every single note you send me becomes my must read. Hey, be the tech guru among all your friends and fam. Sign up for my free newsletter over at getkim.com.